Now friends, we are going to start with a new concept, and name of that concept is forward rate. That is the new concept with which we are going to start right now. What is that? Say the forward rate concept. Let us have a discussion about the same. First of all, I give you a background that say why do we make such certain calculations like this. For that, say giving certain explanation in this way. Suppose today's date is 1st of January and you are an Indian company and your company has exported goods. On export of the goods, you are going to receive, let us say $1,000. That is going to be received after 3 months, that is on 31st of March. When you are going to receive the consideration after 3 months, what you are required to do? You are required to convert, say that dollar into rupees. That is what say you are required to do. When you are converting the dollar into rupees, at that point of time, we know that say what would be the exchange rate is uncertain from 1st of January point of view. So on 1st of January, it is uncertain that say what would be the exchange rate on 31st of March. So we understand that say there is a contract which is available in the market which is given a technical name as a forward contract. As far as a forward contract is concerned, it is a contract in which you can enter upon for the purpose of conversion of the dollar into rupees. Whatever this forward contract in which you enter upon will give you a fixed rate at which you can have the conversion of dollar into rupees. Let us say that the forward exchange rate is 75 rupees per dollar. So that is the fixed rate at which you will get the conversion. If at all the exchange rate on that date is 74, 73, 70, even in that case you have an assurance that you will get exactly 75. And unfortunately, if at all the exchange rate is more than 75, let us say it is 76, 77, 78 or anything like that, then in that case you have to sacrifice at the rate of 75 only. This is what say happens say once you enter into the forward contract. So on 1st of January, basically as an Indian company, what I should do, I should anticipate let's say what will be the spot exchange rate on 31st of March. If at all I am anticipating that the exchange rate will be more than 75, then in that case I should not enter into the forward contract. And if at all I am anticipating that exchange rate will be less than 75, I should enter into the forward contract. This is what we understand. Now friends, whatever I have explained to you says with respect to the foreign currency transaction. This may be for the receivable, this may be for payable, for anything. Now similarly, we have say certain transactions to be entered upon not right now but in future. Suppose today's date is 1st of January and after 6 months on 1st of July you are considering that say you have to make investment of an amount of let us say rupees 10 lakhs. Whatever the rate of interest which is prevailing right now in the market, that is likely to fall down. We are expecting that say the rate of interest for the deposit will fall down. Then in that case what you can do, you can enter into say again a forward contract for the purpose of making investment after 6 months. This kind of forward contract is possible. That is today on 1st of January, for 1st of July you can enter into the forward contract for the purpose of making investment of the funds. Again, whatever the rate which say the bank will give you, so that is the fixed rate at which you have to make the investment. So suppose the fixed rate of interest is provided to you, say for like the forward transaction is 9%. Then in that case, what will happen on 1st of July, on 1st of January, suppose you enter into the forward contract for investment at the rate of 9%. Then irrespective of the rate of interest after 6 months, you will have, this is the fixed rate at which investment to be made. And before you take the decision of making investment at the rate of 9%, what you have to do, you are required to anticipate technically. What you are required to do, you are required to anticipate technically that what would be the rate of interest likely to prevail after 6 months. Whatever this anticipation process that we have is given a technical name as the forward rate. We can also say it is the forward rate of interest. This is what we are required to do for this purpose. This is what I have told you with respect to the investment. The same thing is applicable for the purpose of borrowing. That in case of the borrowing also, after a period of time, you are going to borrow funds. Then in that case, say you have to once again make an anticipation today. Let's say after a period of time, let us say after 6 months or after 1 year, what would be the rate of interest that is likely to prevail? Whatever the rate of interest which is likely to prevail, and whatever the forward contract which you are able to get, between both of them, which one is more beneficial? Should you enter into the forward contract, or it is given a name as a futures contract for the purpose of hedging, or say you should wait and say you should borrow at the rate of interest which is prevailing at that point of time? That decision that say you are required to take, that is what say we are going to have say understanding. What we are going to do is we are going to make the anticipation about the rate of interest which is likely to prevail after a period of time for a specific period. It means that say, I give you a simple example like this. Today's date is, let us say, 1st of January. Today's date is, let us say, 1st of April 2021. On 1st of April 2022, for 1 year, rate of interest. On 1st of January 2021, what would be the rate of interest that is likely to prevail, say during this time period, is given a name as say the forward rate for the second year. This is year 1 and this is year 2, and this is given a name as F2. The term F2 stands for forward rate of interest prevailing at the end of the second year. This is what say we are going to understand over here, how to make this process. What is the use of the same is also what say I tried to explain you. Third, listen carefully. Whenever you are borrowing funds, at that time, say you have basically two types of rate of interest. One is given a name as fixed rate of interest, and another is given a name as floating rate of interest. As far as the floating rate of interest is concerned, as the name suggests, this rate of interest is likely to change. This rate of interest is likely to fluctuate. So if at all you are expecting that say on an average, the floating rate of interest is going to be more than the fixed rate of interest, then in that case, say what happens that say you should borrow at the fixed rate of interest and vice versa. If at all you are expecting that say the floating rate of interest is likely to be less than the fixed rate of interest, then you will borrow at the floating rate of interest. In a way that say for that say once again what you have to do, you are required to make an anticipation that what would be the rate of interest which is likely to prevail in future. Along with that say there are certain transactions which are given a name as interest rate cap, interest rate floor, interest rate collar. These transactions are there which can be entered upon for the purpose of hedging. In a way that say these transactions also require an anticipation to be made about the rate of interest which is likely to prevail after a period of time for a period of time. That is, as I told you, that's the forward rate for the second year. Means after 1 year, for 1 year rate of interest that you have to anticipate. And that anticipation process is given a name as the forward rate of interest. This anticipation process is given a name as the forward rate of interest. This is what we understand. Today's date is this, 1st of April 2021. After 1 year, it is 1st of April 2022. And during this time period, what would be the rate of interest that you are anticipating at this point of time? And that is given a name as F2, forward rate of interest for the second year. Heading right down, forward rate. In that, we are going to do some examples. By doing a few examples, we will have an understanding how to make that calculation, and then I will dictate a note to you with respect to the forward rate and the usefulness of the forward rate. So let us start with an example like this. On 1st of January 2016, Mr. X visited Bank of India. Over there, he found a notice as under time period of investment is 1 year, 2 year and 3 years. The rate of interest. If at all you make investment for 1 year, then the rate of interest is 10%. You make investment directly for 2 years, the rate of interest is 11.5%. And if at all you invest directly for 3 years, the rate of interest is 12.75%. You are required to answer that. 1. Mr. X has requirement of the funds as under. So Mr. X requires at the end of the first year 1000. At the end of the second year 1750. At the end of the third year rupees 5000. Calculate amount of the investment to be made today, that is on 1st of January by Mr. X. So today what he should invest, like what is the single amount that he should invest today, so that say he can get rupees 1000 at the end of the first year, 1750 at the end of the second year and rupees 5000 at the end of the third year. That is what say we are required to calculate. So friends, over here let us understand how to calculate the answer. At the end of the first year, at the end of the second year, at the end of the third year, an amount is required. 1000 rupees at the end of the first year, 1750 at the end of the second year and rupees 5000 at the end of the third year. So we understand that say, since the rate of interest for 1 year deposit, for 2 year deposit and for 3 years deposit is different, we can make the 3 fixed deposits with the bank. As far as the 1 year deposit is concerned, for that the rate of interest is given, I think 10%. For 2 years deposit, the rate of interest is given slightly different. It has been provided that for the 2 years it is 11.5%. So divided by 1.1150 raised to 2. And for the 3 years, again the rate of interest is different. It is provided to us as 1.1275 raised to 3. So for 1 year deposit, for 2 years deposit and for 3 years deposit, we have to make the different amount of the investment. So what will happen? We can say like this, 1000 divided by 1.1, that comes to 909.09. For like the 2 years of the required amount, what we have to do? 1750 divided by square of 1.115, that comes to 1407.63. And similarly for say the third year, that is the way that say the 3 different deposits are required to be made. We'll make the calculation of the total of all of them and that is a single amount which is required to be invested today, so as to get 1000 rupees at the end of the first year, so as to get 1750 at the end of the second year, so as to get 5000 rupees at the end of the third year. That is what we understand. Please write down answer. Calculation of amount of investment to be made today. In that first year, second year, third year. First year you require 1000 divided by 1.10 raised to 1. Then we require 1750 divided by 1.1150 raised to 2. 5000 third year end divided by 1.1275 raised to 3. So end of year 1 to end of year 3, the amount which you require will be converted into present value term. So 1000 divided by 1.1. So the answer comes to 909.09. I am writing up to 2 decimal. 1750 divided by 1.115 divided by 1.115. So 1407.63. Then 5000 divided by 1.1275 for once, twice, and for thrice. So 3488.35. So the amount of investment 909.09 plus 1407.63 plus 3488.35, that comes to 5805.07. 5805.07. This is the single amount to be invested today, so as to get the required amount at the end of the respective year. Second question. At the same time, the following 3 zero coupon bonds are available in the market. A, B and C, 3 zero coupon bonds have been given. As far as the first zero coupon bond is concerned, it has the redemption value and the face value as 100, that is 200. For the second it is 200, and for the third year it is 1200. You are required to calculate present value of above 3 bonds. That is a question. Try to do answer on your own. Friends, as far as the zero coupon bond is concerned, it does not provide any intermediate cash accrual to the investor. So the first zero coupon bond will give the cash accrual at the end of the first year. Second will give at the end of the second year. And third will give at the end of the third year. So if at all you are going to get an amount of rupees 200 at the end of the first year, then what is the present value of the same? Now to compute the present value, you will take, of course, the opportunity cost of capital which is there in the market, and we can say that it is 10%. Because if at all you make investment in the market for 1 year in your bank, that is Bank of India, you get a return at the rate of 10%. 200 rupees you are going to get at the end of the second year. Again, if at all you compute the discounted value of the same, it is 1.1150 raised to 2. Yes. And similarly for the third, it is 1200 divided by 1.1275 raised to 3. So whatever the amount that you are going to receive at the end of the first year, second year, third year is discounted in present value term to compute the value of the zero coupon bond. So we understand 200 divided by 1.1, that comes to 181.82. 200 divided by 1.1150 raised to 2, that is 160.87. Then 1200 divided by 1.1275, first year, second year, third year. So 837.2. This is the way we can calculate the answer. Third question. At the same time, a debenture with the following feature is available in the market. Face value is 1000, rate of interest is 20%, time period of redemption is 3 years, redemption value is 1000. You are required to calculate market price or the present value of the debenture. That is a question. Try to calculate answer of the question on your own. So friends, this answer is exactly similar to the previous one. 1000 into 20%, so 200 rupees is interest. 1000 into 20%, so again 200 rupees is interest. Then 200 is interest and 1000 rupees is the face value. So we can give answer for the third question like this. The present value is 200 divided by 1.10 raised to 1. Again it is 200 divided by 1.1150 raised to 2. Then it is 200 plus 1000, that is 1200 divided by 1.1275 raised to 3. That is the way we are supposed to find the present value, and that comes to 181.82 plus 160.87 plus 837.2. So the answer comes to 1179.89. Please write an answer.